Okay. Carrie wants to know, I thought the government was making only one payment for the CTA order. Are you talking about making partial payments for the scenario outlined by Jeremy? And Jeremy had talked about a first party of a CTA and a second party of a CTA, and one was doing poorly.
Yes, so we talked about that part of the roles and responsibilities is the teaming arrangement should specify how invoicing and payment should occur under a quotation that's responsive to an RFQ. And so essentially there's two ways that could happen. It could be that the team lead invoices for and the government will pay to that team lead, and then they would be responsible for handling then payment to their respective team members. Or it could be that the invoice and payment occurs by the deliverable of each team member, which the government would receive invoices from each team member and pay them. I will remind folks that it is the responsibility of each team member to report their sales and remit the additional funding fee separately to GSA. So under the scenario that I talked about where the team lead would take care of invoicing and payment, it would be very prudent among the team to make sure that they have a clear process for handling that among the team members.
Thanks, Mark. Jeremy had another question. Some RFQs are only open for a few days. For example, on eBay. Are contractors finding it difficult to review the RFQ, contact a viable CTA partner, and decide on deliverables and draft a contract in this window?
There are some of those circumstances when an RFQ is only posted for a few days on eBay. Like I mentioned earlier in the presentation, the minimum that they are required is to post it for at least 48 hours. But I have heard in our various conversations with customer agencies and some of the folks in the industry that the RFQs are being posted longer out on those, and there is a proposed rule for the folks in DoD to the DFARS that if you go out and you only receive one quote in response to an RFQ, it would require the DoD contracting officer to repost for a time period of 30 days. So I think that the most important thing is in terms of it is to make sure that on the government side that you post your requirement for a reasonable amount of time to get good competition and also meet your customers' needs, which is generally the program office. On the industry side, I think obviously. Sometimes these quick situations do occur, and that's why I really suggest, establishing those pre-negotiated contractor teaming arrangements, because they will position you more readily to put together your proposal and be able to submit a quotation in a timely manner.
Thanks, Mark. Linda has a question. You may have already answered this, but she wants to know how the reporting of the industrial funding fee is handled on contractor team arrangements.
Mm-hmm. Again, under contract teaming arrangements, each team member is responsible for reporting sales against their GSA scheduled contract. So it would be sales that they occurred for their portion of that order as a team member and remitting that industrial funding fee to GSA, and that is a quarterly requirement.
Thanks, Mark. Carrie has a question. Wouldn't the CTA contractors have to agree who the award/order should be made out to and let the ordering activity know? This is pertaining to who the award is issued to.
The award is issued to all the team members under their arrangement. So in terms of the government, we spoke before about privity of contract, that the government has privy of contract with each of the team members. So when the award is listed, they should list each GSA schedule contract with each team member in terms of that proposal. And so all those contract numbers would be listed on the order award.
Thanks, Mark. Christopher has another question. What if after award the team members perform roles, responsibilities differently than disclosed in its CTA? Should it matter to the government? Should the CO take action when it is discovered that the contractors are deviating from the CTA, or wait and see if the government gets the products/services it contracted for?
Well, I want to give a good shout out to a good friend, Chris Pope. He's asking some very good questions. He is a friend of ours, and he does work in GSA. This is an excellent question, and it really boils down to the award documentation and who said they were going to provide what in terms of the CTA documentation, because obviously each one of the team members should not be providing anything that is not on their GSA scheduled contract. If they are doing that, that would be something that would be outside of the scope of the task order award. So it does boil down to who said who they were going to deliver what, and so on the government side, you should be looking to make sure that each team member is providing those deliverables that they said they were going to provide, and that they're providing items that are on their GSA schedule contract.